Okay, so we will use a wall space today for just a little bit, a chair, and your blankets. It's always nice to have the other stuff around, like if you have blocks and a strap, maybe have them nearby in case I change my mind with what we do, okay? So we'll get started on our backs with our knees bent. And this is called constructive rest pose. And to make it more restful, a lot of people find that widening their feet and letting their knees lean against one another is helpful. It can allow the inner thighs to release and relax. Sometimes you have to play around with the placement of the feet to get that just right for yourself. You might move your shoulder blades down your back a bit. Let your arms be wherever they feel best. Then take a wide inhale through your nose and a sigh out your mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. A wide inhale. Good. And notice how that feels, dropping in a bit into your feeling sense. Noticing where you're making contact with the floor and any props you have. You can wiggle your toes a little bit. And then let's gently let the head roll side to side. Noticing how it feels toward your end range. You're not forcing your neck, just noticing where it can roll to on either side. Where do you feel sensation when you do this? Or maybe you feel restriction somewhere. Good. And then coming back to the center, let's begin umbrella breathing. So you could place your hands on your lower ribs if you wanted to. And as you inhale, trying to feel these ribs open up laterally, so to the sides. And then as you exhale, go out the mouth slowly, like you're blowing out through pursed lips. Getting all the air out, and let's repeat that. And you can transition to breathing out through the nose as well, if that works for you. You can relax your arms down at your sides. Let's take the feet and the knees hips distance and parallel and begin to rock the pelvis. We'll exhale as we press the low back toward the floor and the back of the sacrum down, and inhale as you rock the pelvis forward, creating a low back curve, and repeat. And can you soften as you do this through your jaw and your throat, as allowing the head to move naturally. Good. And now let's pause in between those two spots, so in neutral pelvis. And let's place the hands with the heels of the hands on the 2 hip bones on the sides, front sides here, and let your fingertips come down toward your pubic bone, just above the pubic bone. And we're going to practice a little bit of lower abdominal engagement, trying to get to the deeper layer of abdominals on your exhale. So we'll do an inhale, umbrella breath, and allowing the lower belly to expand as well on that inhale. And then you can exhale out the mouth again. The pursed lips will help here. And trying to feel as though the exhale is beginning at the pelvic floor and it's moving upward. So it's almost like a Kegel in a way. It's an engagement lifting up from the pelvic floor without clenching around your butt. It's internally, and then it comes up almost like you're zipping up some tight jeans all the way up towards your belly button. And then as you inhale, can you relax this area? And try that again. So you're exhaling, you can feel with your fingertips pressing down. Can you feel the engagement of the muscles in there? And you might need to dig down because we've got layers of skin and we've got fat tissue in there. So just kind of dig around to try to feel some abdominal engagement. Every inhale, you're relaxing there. Now, it might be difficult to feel that pelvic floor engagement. That's okay, just try to picture it, and with practice, it might come. Okay, now we're gonna add in beginning the exhale first, then engaging, and then letting one of your knees float up so it stacks over the hip. And then inhale as you come down. Now watch me first because people tend to just do this. I'll show you what people tend to do. And here I'm not using any core engagement. I'm just using my hip flexor muscle and I'm marching, okay? But instead, what we're gonna do is begin the exhale, engage, and let it float up. I'm trying to feel these abdominals engage the whole time and just that it's supporting the lifting of the leg. And then as I inhale, I soften and place it down. See if you can give this a try and try to get those muscles engaged. Oh, dig in there with your fingers on that exhale to really feel it. And again, still moving from the pelvic floor if you can. And if this is challenging for you to find and connect to these muscles, that's pretty normal for people, okay? It can take a while, a lot of practice before you start to feel this connection. Get your brain connected to the pelvic floor muscles and to the lower core or the deeper core. Okay, next time you come down, doesn't matter which side, just pause. Good. Now, I'm going to inhale, and as you exhale, engage from the pelvic floor, just like we've been doing, and we're going to lift and hold both feet off the floor with knees stacked over hips. Now, if this is too much for your low back, you don't feel supported, just place one foot on the floor. You'll do one leg for a while and then the other, okay? And all we're going to do is hold here. So from here, we're maintaining the neutral pelvis. We're not pressing it down. I forgot to mention that on the first exercise. And you're moving the knees enough away from the belly so that there's a load. And then from here, can you draw the front ribs down toward the back ribs? And can you place your hands on your lower abdominals and try to feel those engaging? It's almost like your hip points are pulling toward one another without pressing the low back down to the floor, just keeping it in neutral. Good, keep breathing. And if you're doing one leg on the floor, just switch sides now. So when you're breathing here, you're going to need to breathe more umbrella breath and less lower belly breath on the inhale, okay? Otherwise, you won't be able to maintain the load. You've got to keep those lower abdominals engaged to support this pose. And I feel my core working, even though I do a lot of core work, can still feel it working here. I hope you can too. Keep breathing. Good, and then slowly lowering down as you're ready. Let's widen the arms and widen the feet and just let the knees rock side to side. Good. We're going to add in a little bit of core engagement with our windshield wipers. So let's do it this way. As you inhale, let's go down to one side. And then begin your exhale. Try to engage from the pelvic floor to bring the knees up to center. And then as you inhale, go down to the other side. So we're just trying to get our brain connected again. Then exhale, begin the exhale, engage from pelvic floor, come up to center. Okay, a few more here. You might be losing focus, just bringing it back whenever you notice that. And next time you come up, we're going to pause there, just taking the feet hips distance and parallel. We're going to interlace the hands behind the head now. Okay, we're going to keep this focus on the deepest layer of the abdominals, which the muscle fibers run horizontally around your abdomen, like almost like a corset. And they're deeper to the six-pack muscles. They're below all those, okay, and to the obliques. So what we'll do is a little bit, we're going to have the arms a little different than when we normally do core work. So we'll keep the elbows wide as we're going to lift the head and shoulders. We're going to let the head rest into the hands, and we're going to face the sternum toward the ceiling. And you can watch me first. So what I'm going to do is inhale. And then as I exhale, same engagement we've been using from the pelvic floor, lift up. I'm going to keep looking at the ceiling rather than tucking my chin as I normally do. And then inhale back down and repeat. So begin the exhale first, engage from pelvic floor, really let your head just rest in your hands. Lift, thinking sternum towards ceiling, and then inhale back down. On the inhale, you relax the pelvic floor for this. Good. Now the next time you come up, we're going to stay there and work on the obliques. So you'll exhale up, pause for the inhale, and then as you exhale, turn your sternum to face the right. So instead of bringing elbow across, think sternum across, and then inhale back to center. And as you exhale, sternum to the left, and inhale center. And boy, I can feel these right away. Not cranking on your neck, okay? Letting your neck relax. Feeling your feet grounding onto the floor, and still trying to engage from the pelvic floor. Remember, it's not elbow that's coming across, but instead it's the side of your sternum that's trying to face the opposite side, or the chest, you could think of it as. Good, and then let's come back to the center and come on down. And following your breath in and following your breath out. Let's inhale to stretch through arms and legs. You can stretch arms overhead. And as you exhale, let's bring the right knee in and catch it with your hands. Let's inhale, hold behind the leg and stretch the leg up toward the ceiling. You might want to bend your left leg too and put the foot on the floor. And then let's bend the right knee. So we're just bending and straightening a few times. If you prefer to keep it straight, go for it. Or if you want to use a strap, you can do that too. Okay, now let's bend the knee, foot to the floor. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, left knee comes in. We'll hold behind the leg and same thing, stretch it up and bend. You can also keep it straight if you prefer. Good, and then bringing that down to the floor. You can roll to your side to press yourself up, or you can bring both knees in and rock yourself up. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. And you can pad your knees if you like, and you can also be on your forearms if you prefer. Okay, we're going to start in tabletop position. And we're going to try to just move the pelvis. So instead of the whole spine in cat and cow, we're going to inhale, just lift the tail, and your low back will probably move with it, and exhale, tuck it under. So just trying to isolate, just like when we're doing the pelvic rocks on the floor. Okay, let's travel up the spine a little bit, focusing on the area around your belly button and your low back. So as you inhale, let's see how much it feels okay to bring the belly button toward the floor. And on the exhale, can you round through the low back and repeat? Okay, now let's work on the chest area and the upper back. So on the inhale, let's let the chest move toward the floor. And on the exhale, round. And it's okay, we'll let the lower spine do it as well, okay? So the focus is on the upper back, but you can move the lower back as well here. All right, now let's focus on the neck area. And the rest of the spine, let's keep it in neutral. So we'll protract the shoulder blades and inhale as you lift the chin forward. Of course, go gently in case your neck has any issues. Just take it slow, then taking chin toward chest. How does that feel? And repeat. Good, and now let's sit back either to child's pose, or you can keep the hips high in puppy dog pose. Your hands could pad your forehead if you'd like. And as you're here, can you breathe into your back body? So just trying to feel as you inhale this back area expanding. All right, let's rise back up again. We're going to come onto our side, and you'll want your head and neck padding, maybe. Okay, I'm not going to use it for myself, but you might need it. And some sort of prop, like a block, or you could use a pillow. Just come onto the side that faces me best for you right now. And we'll be putting the head either on your head and neck support or on the floor. And the top knee is going to come onto the block. The bottom leg does not have to be perfectly straight, but it could be. The bottom arm is going to hold the knee on the block or the prop so it doesn't move, okay? The top hand is going to come behind the head. All right, so as we inhale, we're going to inhale and rock that top elbow toward the floor on the opposite side, and your nose starts to face the ceiling. And now on your exhale, we're going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to lift my head off the floor. You don't have to lift it. It works better for me. Rounding my upper back, taking my elbow toward the floor on the other side. And then I'm going to repeat. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, rounding and closing. Now, as I do this, I'm keeping my knee on my block, but I'm noticing my block is tilting. I'm just going to try to not go as far or to see if I can secure it down. So I'm isolating the thoracic spine. Notice if you're getting tight in your neck, and let that be soft as carrying it back and forth. Now, next time you open up, if you want to stay there, you could. I like to untuck my bottom shoulder blade and move it over. As you breathe here, focus on umbrella breath. Can you do both sides of the rib cage expanding on the inhale and long exhale? Good, and then as you're ready, you can exhale, come out of it. You can roll onto your side or onto your back. Just depends on if you're just gonna roll over or if you wanna flip around. All right, so you're coming onto your other side. Top knee on your prop. Bottom arm holds knee. Head hangs or is on a support. Other hand, top hand behind head. All right, and whenever you get set up and you're ready, we'll inhale, rock that elbow open. Oh, this feels so good to me. And then as you exhale, and round the upper back as you bring the elbow across. Again, I like to lift my head off the floor to do that. But I've noticed that a lot of the clients I work with in doing this, they're not able to lift their head. It feels better for them to just roll over. So you can just see, I like to tuck my chin into my chest and round. Next time you open, if you'd like to stay there, go for it. Umbrella breaths. All right, and then coming back onto your side and pressing yourself up. We're gonna come onto, and gosh, I realized I didn't prep you for this in the beginning, but we're gonna come into a sitting on our heels position, meaning you're probably gonna want some props to do that on. So I'm going to use yoga blocks, but you could also use pillows, bolsters, blankets, whatever you happen to have. So I'm gonna place these, and then I'm also gonna need a little folded up blanket. Or you could also use a bean bag. You could use a heavy pillow. This is going to go on top of your head, okay, in a moment. So let's take some time to set up. First of all, you're going to be kneeling and coming up. So some people will need a pillow below their knees or a blanket. All right. Second, the amount of space that you need or props that you need below your hips like this depends on you. You want no knee pain at all. Okay, so you're going for 0 knee pain. It's okay if your quads feel a little tight, but you need to be able to withstand it. So nothing too intense. All right. And if you don't have knee pain, I mean, you could come all the way down, right? So you don't have to have the props if you don't need them. Say you can't do this at all. Like you just can't do it without knee pain, no matter you don't have enough props, then you'll be doing this in a chair. Okay. So for those that can't do it at all without pain, you're in the chair. Everybody's going to grab something for the top of their head. And you want it to be a neatly folded up package, otherwise it's going to flop all over the place and it won't work, okay? And so we'll place this right on the top of your head. The purpose of this is to work on neck strength, which can really help with neck issues. Okay. Boom. I have a special little bean bag. I think I've showed it to you guys before, that is designed for this purpose that I like to use, but I'm demoing with this because most people don't have that. All right. So first things first, just relaxing through the shoulders, making sure you're not like cockeyed to keep your blanket balanced. You might need to, fold it differently or use something different. And now let's try umbrella breathing. So 360-degree expansion on the inhale. Long exhale. And I like to imagine, and it might work for you, just one of those women in cultures that carry things on their head, like with a big basket of water on the top of your head here. So you're having to really lift up to hold the weight, and the shoulders relax downward. Okay. And now we'll try some movement. So this is a little different than the one we did last week, because we did something similar where we were practicing a hip hinge, but without something on our head, right? Instead of a big hip hinge, we're going to try to not change our hips. And not hip hinge as you stand or sit, okay? You come up and then you're gonna try to go straight down rather than hinging forward at the hips. Right? There still is a hinge, of course, but you're not bringing your belly towards your thighs. And again, we want no knee pain, so make any adjustments you need to do that. I'm going to show it from the chair. Keep going if you're fine where you are. So in the chair, it's similar to last week as well, except again, not a lot of forward hip hinging to come up or down. So I'll be here, inhale, and then I'll exhale, steadying myself and coming up. And then exhale, steadying myself and coming down, making sure, again, no knee pain. If that gives you knee pain, you might need to just make it small like this without going to the chair, okay? Let's do a few more. I find it easier on the floor than the chair, actually. Whew, but it's good, isn't it? I can feel it working my quads here. And then can you come all the way up to standing from here? So and you can use support, of course, if you got a chair nearby. So you could come up, and then perhaps you could bring one leg forward, tucking the back toes, and then exhale without losing your prop. Maybe you could stand. Okay. Good job, you guys. Let's try. If you lost your blanket, you could just put it back on. Okay. Try to reorient yourself here to standing. If you can soften and relax through your shoulders. Feel your toes on the floor, balls and heels of the feet, and just breathing in and out. So I've read research about that people in cultures where they do carry things on their head have much fewer chronic neck issues. So, hey, you could, like I said, I have this bean bag that I balance on my head when I'm cutting vegetables, all these things that really give me neck pain. All right, let's take it off. Nice work. Can toss it to the side. And then just standing here, imagine I'm thinking of these photographs of another culture, or it might be a similar culture in Africa, where women wear these I guess they're like necklaces, but they surround the neck, like a neck cuff, and their necks look so long, right? So just imagine right now you've got that long neck, shoulders relaxed, following your breath in and out. Okay, let's add in just some arm movements that we're used to doing. Let's inhale, bringing the arms up as high as you want to go, and then exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Let's do 2 more of those, your own timing. All right, we're gonna work at the wall, and we're gonna do protract, retract. I know you guys that are here live have done this with me often, but if you're watching the recording, you might be new to it. Before we do it on the wall, let's just remind ourselves of what these positions are. First, our shoulder blades, right? Shoulder blades back here. They're actually always smaller than I think they are. They're right back there on the edges, right? They can elevate. So as in everybody, inhale, elevate your shoulder blades, and exhale, let them relax. Inhale, elevate, exhale, relax. Inhale, elevate, exhale, relax. Okay, they can also depress, meaning we can force them to move down with engagement. So it's different than relax, right? I'm going to feel like I'm moving my armpits toward my waist as I go down, and don't overdo it, okay? Just a little bit so you can feel engagement. Okay, that would be depressing the shoulder blades. Then the shoulder blades can squeeze together. Like if I had something, oh, I can do it actually with my fist, just because I can get it up there. I can squeeze those shoulder blades together toward one another. Okay, so you can bring your arms out in front and squeeze them back. In a moment, we'll have our hands on the wall as we do that, okay? And then you can protract, which is the opposite. So it's like you're pushing something forward and those shoulder blades widen, right? They retract. Notice I'm not elevating. This would be me elevating as I retract. I find, and you can rest for a moment, a lot of people, when they're trying to find those retraction muscles, like the rhomboid muscle, they elevate instead just to try to get their brain there. So see if you can keep them relaxed, not depressed. We're not forcing them, okay? Just, okay. And then protract, you're just pushing forward. When you're at the wall, another thing people tend to do is they tend to bend their elbows. Okay, so you're gonna keep your elbows straight and try to find these muscles. Now, we're not going to lean against the wall. Okay, we're doing this with our feet right below our shoulders. So whenever you're ready, let's just come to the wall and go for it. Okay, hands at about shoulder height, arms straight, and when you're ready, just begin. Just breathe however you want to. See if you can find these muscles. Now check in with your jaw and check in with that elevation, not elevating, right? Good, and then let your arms come down, rest. The next thing we're going to do is we'll be here, right, at the wall. I'm going to try to roll my shoulder blades. So I will elevate, I'll retract, I'll depress a little bit, bring them forward, again, without bending the elbows. Okay, so your eyes just look straight ahead as you do that, and then you can try the opposite direction as well. All right, let's give it a shot. Whenever you're ready, just keep breathing. And then see if you can reverse it. And hopefully you're getting a little muscle fatigue when you do that too. All right, let them come down whenever you're ready. And we're going to do just a wall hang while we're here at the wall. Stretch them out, open it up a little bit. So I take my arms higher now. It's like a downward dog. I'm going to step away with my feet as I hinge at my hips. As long as there's no pain when you do this, it's like you're hanging from your hands here. So the butt goes toward the center of the room. Okay, and coming out as you're ready, and you can just turn away from the wall. Okay. Now we will come in front of our chairs. You want your chair to be the seat facing you and in a position where it's not going to slide. So, depending on what the floor you have is, you could even put it against a wall to make sure it doesn't slide if that's necessary. Okay. Now stand in front of it and inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. hands to chair. It's okay to bend the knees. I'm going to step to a chair plank pose. Now, I'm not going to go very far back though. Okay, so go back a little less far than you think. Okay, here, right? So that you can have your shoulders right over your wrists. And now can you protract the shoulder blades? Can you tuck your tail under? Good, and hopefully you feel your core turn on when you tuck your tail under. Breathe, and I can't see everybody, so just make sure that actually, why don't you guys take a break by stepping forward and just standing up, and I'll show you. So I can't see you, but maybe you can check yourself on this. So you don't want to be hanging your hips down like this, right? Going into your low back, or even like this, right? Going into your low back. Default on the side of lifting them higher. Okay, I'm not doing this, rounding totally, but I'm tucking my tail. Okay, and in a moment, you'll have the option to try protract, retract here. It might be too much. You can decide. Let's do one more. All right, so coming in front of your chair when you're ready, and say this is all too much for your wrists or your shoulders, you could be doing what we just did on the wall a moment ago. Okay, here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands to the chair. Keeping shoulders over wrists, just step the feet a little bit back here. And then protract the shoulder blades and tuck the tail. Hopefully you'll feel your abdominals turn on. Good, and you can stay here holding and breathing, or you can try some protract, retract here without bending the elbows. Just relax your neck so you don't elevate. And hopefully you're feeling it in your shoulders. Whew, good. And now let's come into chair down dog. So all I did was swing back, hinging at the hips. Let my head fall down between the arms. Relax your jaw. Knees can be bent or straight. Following breath in and out. Good. And breathing in again. And out. All right, let's step toward the chair. Inhale to reach your chest forward. Exhale to bend the knees. And then inhale to stand up, reaching the arms way up. Exhale, arms out and down. Let's interlace the hands behind your back if that feels okay. Placing your knuckles on your sacrum. Okay. And then from here, you roll the shoulder heads back and squeeze the elbows toward one another without pushing the hips forward, just upright. Okay? Good. All right, and breathe. Feel your feet grounded. Good. And now let's take both hands, still clasped, over to your right side waist. I'll probably look opposite to you. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to squeeze the right shoulder, or the right elbow, excuse me, back without twisting. Good. And just allowing the shoulders again to relax rather than forcing anything. Okay, now from here, I'm just going to let my head go down to the opposite side of where my hands are. And breathe. Again, relax your jaw as you do this, and it can be any amount. If you find yourself kind of white knuckling in your fingers, see if you can soften your fingers too. And you might want to make a little bit of micro movements with your chin, feeling the three corners of your feet on the floor. Good. And now as you exhale, let's gently let the chin come down in front and slowly move the hands over to the other side waist. Squeeze that left elbow back. And then gently, you can start to take your right ear down toward the right. Good. And make any adjustments for your own neck and shoulder and hands that you need. And just notice, can you feel your 360-degree inhale against that back arm or against your hands? Letting the jaw soften. Good. And then slowly allowing the chin again to drop a bit forward if that feels okay. This time we'll release the hands and then take whichever hand you'd like. Just bring the fingertips to the forehead in front or the palm. And just going to gently lift the head to center. Good. And exhale, releasing your arm down. And notice for a moment, you could take your eyes somewhere else that you haven't looked yet. You might rock a bit on your feet. Feel your breath come in and out. All right. From here, we're going to go toward the back of our mat. If you need a lot of help with balance today, you could take your mat against a wall along the side of you, or bring a chair or furniture around the side. Okay. We're going to stand toward the back of your space. You don't even need a mat, of course. And we're going to be walking like we're on a tightrope, just an imaginary tightrope. Okay. Let's try to soften your eyes and look ahead without looking down. And as you inhale, stand tall, like you have that blanket balanced on the top of your head again. And as you exhale, let's begin to lift the right knee and the right foot. Bend the left knee as you step the right heel down in front of the left foot. And then slowly place the ball of the pinky toe, the ball of the big toe on the floor as you bend the right knee. Shifting weight forward. You're going to start to just keep breathing as you lift the back foot off the floor, bending the knee, bringing the knee up if you can, flexing the ankle, slowly placing it down in front, heel, ball of pinky toe, start bending front knee, ball of big toe, shifting forward, coming off the back foot, lifting it up, and again, placing it down if you have space. Good. And I'm just going to bend my front knee, and now I'm going to start to go backwards. So to go backwards, I'm just going to do the opposite of what we did. So I'll shift my weight back, bend the back knee, start to lift the front knee up, and I'm going to try to place it back on my imaginary tightrope, this time landing ball of foot or toes, ball of foot, and then into heel, bending back knee if you can, and lifting. Keep breathing. Notice if you're holding your breath and stepping back. So it's like a slow motion tightrope walk here, almost like a Tai Chi type move. And again, coming up nice and slowly. Oops, and I ran out of space. Okay, now we're going to go forward. I'm going to start with my right foot behind. And I'm going to step forward. It actually doesn't matter though, of course. Okay, I'm just doing the same thing again. So you're transferring weight, you're balancing dynamically, and you're moving as slowly as possible, trying to bring the leg up in an exaggerated motion so that all of the movements through the foot, the hip, and the knee are exaggerated and slow. And when you get to the back, this next time, Just bring the feet next to one another at a comfortable distance. Take your eyes to a different spot and breathe. Good. All right. Let's come away from anything, into any part of your space you want to be in as you swing and twist. Arms relax, shoulders relax. You can take your view around, looking behind you. Good. And then coming back to the center, let's take our feet wide. So whatever wide is for you is fine here. Okay. And then we're going to turn the feet slightly, or the heels, slightly in and the toes out. Okay. And let's do a little test. We're going to bring the hands down to the inner knee if you can reach, or toward it. And just looking down, we're trying to be able to open the knee so that you can see the big toe on the inside, right? And say that's just, wow, that's not going to work, right? Then what you would do is not turn your feet out as much, and then try again and see if that'll work a little better. Okay, so you're just going to find the distance between the feet that works for you, and also the amount that the feet are turned out, okay? And once you feel like you've got that, let's go. We're going to inhale, straighten the legs, bring the arms up. And then exhale, let's bend the knees any amount and bend the elbows as well. Goddess pose, and repeat. As you inhale, if you want to add in changing where you're looking, you can look up as you come up. And then as you exhale, you could look forward. Feeling the three corners of your feet on the floor. Let's add in a little bit of intention to this movement. So, or, a metaphorical intention. So as you inhale and straighten and you look up, you could think, what are you wanting to bring into your life? This is like a big ask right here, okay? And then as you exhale, just imagine that you're drawing it in to your awareness, your being with strength. And it can be whatever pops into your head. It doesn't have to be profound. It could be something like, I want more joy or more ease. And then I bring it in. Now, if you want to hold in the bent position, you could try that. You might just let your arms come down. Let's work on the legs, and it might feel good to roll the shoulders here. Good. And then as you're ready, let's straighten the legs and slowly walk the feet toward one another. All right, we're going to come back to our wall. And you guys that are here have done this with me before, but I'm going to show it so you can see too. I think I'll show it with this position first. So we'll be starting, gosh, why do I always forget if it's the back leg or the front leg? It doesn't really matter, I don't think. But what we'll be doing, we'll take the outside leg forward, and you'll be turning your chest toward the wall and bringing the arm around in a diagonal. And then we're going to work on, and this part is key. So imagine my arm is on the wall. We don't want to be rounding it forward. We want it to roll back and down, okay? So rolling it back and down, all right? So coming to the wall, outside leg forward, Shift that outside hip back, tuck the tail forward. And now turning toward the wall with your chest. Oh, I see. You know what, you guys? Sorry. Bring the inside leg forward. Now I can see why. Okay. So inside leg forward, shift that hip back, tuck the tail a bit. Okay, inside arm. Going to bring up, turn your chest toward the wall. And then just bring it up diagonally to the back like I showed you before. And now can you roll that shoulder blade down your back? You're facing the wall with your chest, you guys, and your nose. Everything, your whole chest is facing the wall. Good. Now, going to keep that shoulder blade down your back and turn your chest slightly away just until you feel a little stretch. And let's see. Yeah, Janine, you'd want to bend that front knee. Yeah, and not lean back, not lean back. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Exactly. So it looks like a warrior one position, okay, with this chest opener. Shoulder blade moving down your back, so you might not be able to turn very far away from the wall before you feel a little stretch. Let's go one more breath here. And now let's turn the chest totally toward the wall, and you can just let that arm come down at your side and release. Good. And you can turn around. Okay, so inside foot toward the wall, bend the front knee. I didn't say that before. So you're bending the front knee, and you're going to shift that inside hip back and take the arm up by your ear. And then slowly start to turn your chest and nose toward the wall, taking it up on a diagonal behind you. Now moving the shoulder blade and the shoulder head down and back. I'm going to very slowly, just until I feel a little stretch, like a 50% of my max stretch, I will turn the chest a bit away from the wall and breathe. You can keep tucking your tail under. You might need to bend your back knee to do that too. And breathing. Notice how your neck feels. You might need to turn that more toward the wall. And now, as you're ready, we'll slowly turn toward the wall with your chest as you let the arm come down next to your side and step forward. Good. Just notice how your chest feels, your shoulders. We're going to come to sit in our chair. Your feet can be wide or narrow. We're just going to do child's pose in a chair, okay? So it can be here, so forearms on knees, but the point is we're gonna round the back if that feels okay in your body, or you might prefer to come down further, okay? See what feels better to you and what width of your legs you like. Like for me, I like to have mine wide and go between, but some people might like to have them narrow. Wherever you are, can you let your neck just release here? Letting your tongue soften. And as you breathe in, and you focus on feeling that inhale in the back side of your body. And as you exhale, letting go. And one more breath. And then slowly coming back up. If you're all the way down, coming to elbows first. And then all the way up. You can sit back in your chair. I'm going to do a mudra here, or I'll invite you to. You can do whatever you want with your hands, of course. Now, this one is called a treasure chest, or Samputa mudra. And what I'm going to do is turn my left hand upward. And you'll see I'm making like a little cup with it. And then my right hand goes on top, like I've got a little treasure inside my hands, a little opening in there, okay? It can be down in front of your navel, so shoulders relaxed. And your back can be supported. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about it and then I'll be quiet so you can have an experience on your own. But this is meant to help you connect to your inner voice of truth and to communicate from your true being. It draws your awareness inward to access inner wisdom. So the way that mudras have been around in the yogic tradition for thousands of years, you see statues with various mudras, hand positions. They're meant to work on the subtle anatomy according to yoga. And the way I like to work with them is just breathing and noticing how I feel. Okay? Then with the intention we set. And whenever you're ready, you could always stay longer, of course, but you might just want to stretch out your hands around, noticing how you feel. I'm going to come down to the floor for relaxation, for Shavasana. But of course, if you wanted to stay in your chair, you could do it that way too. Okay. And if there's any last positions that you wanted to take, you could do that as well. I will talk you into the relaxation today, and then I'll let you be there and we'll end our session just based on time, okay? So getting yourself comfortable and supported, and take your time as you do that. There's no right way to be in your body. And as you settle in, you might take a few sighs, noticing where you want your arms and legs. Inviting yourself to let go to gravity, maybe just a little bit more here, as though you're sinking into the floor below you. You might feel the rise and fall of your breath, just letting it be there. Attempting to let go of as much effort as you can, both mentally and physically.